Yo, Marcus, holy shit, this episode was fucking fire.
What? It was? Tell me about it.
All right.
Tell me about it.
So, episode 11, if you didn't know, so good. We had on my good friend Shad. He was in the robotics class at CTC, and he is also a SoundCloud rapper. We delved into a shit ton of just random stuff. We talked about his upbringing, how his end goals with after college and all that. And then we got into like conspiracy theories and his music and how he used that as an outlet for his personal life.
Yeah. He's a very, very fun individual. Has a lot of good life stories that he shares with us. Talks about how he developed that passion. And then he also delved a little bit into conspiracy theories and simulation theory. I don't want to give too much away, so you're just gonna have to continue listening on to this episode 11. My favorite guest by far. Sorry, Cameron, love you, buddy. Listen to it, Shad.
All right, so tell us about yourself, man. What's your name? Just give us the rundown of your come up, basically.
All right. I'm Shad. What do you want me to say?
Well, I mean, where'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Haviland, Ohio.
Haviland, where's that at?
That's like 2 hours away from here.
Oh,
it's
shit.
By Fort Wayne, Indiana, like 30 minutes away from Fort Wayne.
Okay.
So it's like the middle of nowhere, bunch of windmills, bunch of cows.
So what brought you here then?
My dad.
Oh, work?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's a director of operations for Papa John's.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's wild.
Yeah.
And what got you, because you're into robotics, right? You went through CTC for robotics?
Yeah.
What got you so interested in robotics?
I mean, just visiting CTC, really. I mean, when I was younger, I would take things apart and then build it back up, make sure it worked. There was a lot of times it didn't work. My dad would get pissed at me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I can kind of vibe with that experience a lot. My dad, he was a database engineer. He's really into anything technical. He got that. I don't know if you ever heard of that Lego robotics thing. Yeah. I was really into Legos as a kid. He really tried hard to get me into robotics.
I did some of those.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. When I first went to CTC, we did Lego water bots. So we had to build our own kind of like ship and row it across like a pool.
Was that the first thing you ever created? The robotic? That was robotic, excuse me.
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no clue.
You've no clue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what you would classify as robotic. It depends. Because, I mean, you get into the realm of autonomous or something that's just like a mechanical functioning machine. So, like, a robot would have to be autonomous.
Got you.
So, that would probably have to be maybe like that Lego water bot, or like when I started building battle bots at CTC. That was like first thing.
Yeah, I was always interested in the battle bots. How did that whole process, how did you go through that process with making it? Because I know zero about anything robotics.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's more of like engineering process too. It's not just like robotics. So what I've learned is robotics is just an off branch of engineering automation into that realm. So the process would be like we open 3D modeling software, but first we brainstorm. So you have to brainstorm ideas like
That'll work.
Yeah. All right. But you brainstorm ideas. So like you just get out a piece of paper and you're like drawing on paper. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Once you kind of get a feel for it, you take it into a CAD software, which is like computer aided design. And I'm able to draw and dimension everything and make a 3D model of it. And then from there, I make a blueprint. And then I cut we would do that, and then we'd use like a sheet metal tool. So we were able to flatten out that piece, which is pretty interesting because like other teams would just cut out single pieces and like have the whole design kind of, I don't know, easy for fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you have like 6 different pieces welded together, I mean, versus a piece that's all one piece.
The structure
You're
is
bending it, and then you weld those seams. There's extra structure there.
Yeah.
Right.
So we did that. We would flatten it out because you can do that in the software, and then just export it. And we were able to export it into like a plasma cutter. So the plasma cutter is basically like a way of welding, but it's like kind of like reverse welding because it'll like cut out things. That's when like I was at CTC. I made so many signs.
Yeah.
We would cut out our battle bots on that.
Okay.
So we would take that, put in the welds and everything, take it to the welding students, and they would weld it for us. And then, you got a question?
Oh no!
Just keep
once you
going.
finish, once you finish, yeah,
Okay.
I have a question. Go ahead.
It kind of is a long process, but you do all the bending and the welding, and that's just your body, you know.
Yeah.
So you have all the wiring, and you have, depending on how many wheels you want, you're gonna have to have a couple motors if you want 2 wheels, a couple gear shafts, a speed controller, a transmitter, a receiver, like a dead man switch, essentially.
Okay.
So like you can turn everything off by just like turning a key. So you kind of figure out where you want everything laid out. Also, if you want a weapon, if you add a weapon, you have to add another motor, another ESC, like it has to be on a separate ESC, and it's a long process, really.
Yeah,
but you get that, and then you kind of put your battle bot together. But that's just like, okay, well, we got that. Now we have to test it. So it's like the testing phase of, well, does it work? Does everything function correctly? And most times it doesn't, because that's, usually how it goes. When you build something, it's not going to work how you want it to work the first time you do it. Sometimes you get lucky, or people call it skill per se. I don't think it's necessarily skill. Sometimes I think it's luck. Like, hey, this thing works how I want it to work. But
What types of weapons did you guys use on there? Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about when you said battle bots.
I think the better question is, what were the restrictions
There you go.
on the battle bots?
So it was like 15 pounds. So the ones you see on TV, if you watch a TV show, it's like 250-pound limit.
Okay.
The ones we have are 15. We can't have any fire or anything like that.
Damn.
I
See,
know.
that's the best.
I know. That's the cool shit.
That is the best.
That's what I was
shit,
hoping for. Like, you're just gonna like explode somebody else's bomb or something.
You can't do that. You can't do like EMPs where you're just like sending out a signal and killing their electronics. But it's fun in a sense because it's just like, I don't know, man. You go through the whole process, but then it has an end goal of like you get in the ring and it's an adrenaline rush for me. Like when I played sports, there's an adrenaline rush there. Like you do fighting, that's an adrenaline rush.
Oh my god!
For me, you get stuck in that zone, and you're just like, even if you don't win, it's just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I've actually read a couple books on that like zone that you get into, and it's called the flow state.
Yeah,
it's where you have just the right amount of like these chemicals in your body that make you hyper focused, and it's the best feeling ever. I think that's why like the top level athletes do what they do is for that rush,
Yeah. I solidly believe that the meaning of life is just to get in that state as much as you can.
Oh, for sure.
I love it. I love that so much.
I mean, that's why I have Sinclair starting a team, a BattleBot team. So I have 3 people together right now, and we're gonna compete in the fall or spring, actually.
You're setting this up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's set up. Actually, the fall competition just happened over the weekend. I was there and got to watch. Well, I was working a lot because I work for CTC part time, so I had to show people robots and everything like that. Well, they told me, hey, you can close it down at 2. I closed it down at 2. I was able to watch basically the final 16 or last bots they had, the good ones. So, and
just for the listeners who don't know what CTC is, Miami Valley Career Technology Center. It's a career center for people who know what they want to do and who want to get a head start in their field of choice. He went for robotics. I went for veterinary science. So
typically high school age too.
Yeah, it's typically high school age, junior, senior year, and it's just to give yourself a head start. But anyway, back to the robotics for Sinclair.
Yeah.
So how many schools participate in the robot the BattleBot event?
You have different like levels basically. So it's like you'll have high school students compete against other high school students, but there's also a collegiate level. Can't talk.
Oh, dude,
Anyway.
trust me, I'm the same way.
But there was like Edison was there, Northern Illinois. Those are the only ones I can mention because I can't think of any other ones. But there's a decent amount of collegiate teams there as well. And, I'm just sitting there thinking, watching this, I'm like, I want to get back into this because I missed the adrenaline rush from it. So I talked to a couple guys that were there that run it, and they're from Sinclair. So I'm like, we need a team. And they're like, let's do it. I've been trying to get a team together for 8 years. I was like, well, I got you. All right, I had people line up. My buddy was there with me. He takes mechanical drafting. And then I have another buddy into it, and he does precision machining. So I got my machinist, I got my mechanical drafter, and you got me doing, the robot stuff.
All right, so your degree that you're going for is robotics at Sinclair, or what is your degree exactly?
Automation and controls with robotics.
Okay.
So when you get into robotics, you can either purely become like a robot programmer, which you get paid a decent amount of money, but most of your money is going to be made like making automated cells. So that being said, like an automated cell would be, if I'm running an assembly line, I have like a conveyor belt, I'm trying to push out parts or move parts, I want to add a robot into there. Well, I'm going to have panels, I'm going to have sensors, I'm going to have pneumatics somewhere, I'm going to have the physical robot, light curtains. That's all automation. That brings everything. It's not just the robot. And that's, what I learned or had to learn when I got my job, because it was just like, I know robots, but I don't know automation,
Right.
There's a fine line, because technically robots are automation, but once you get into like the actual realm of automation, it's so much more.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a brief stint with dealing with automation. I had a business idea for factory design. It's one that I actually had to put on the back burner because I realized that there's so much that I just don't know that I have to really delve into to learn. Yeah, you're absolutely right when you talk about. I mean, like we don't think about it. Most people who are out completely outside of this world. I mean, even somebody who's probably works in a factory might not even think about all of the components, all the time, energy, and effort that goes into these things. It's ridiculous.
For sure. I mean, I work for a tier 2 car manufacturer. So 30 parts on a Honda CR-V comes from my factory.
Oh, okay.
So,
holy shit.
Yeah, we make parts for Tesla, GM. I mean,
woo, Tesla,
Toyota. Yeah,
God,
Honda. We're big into Honda, and like we make a little bit of everything. We make blender jars.
Wow.
Your washer and dryers, like the things that have labels on it, like start, go. I just set up a robotic cell at work that prints on those.
Did you all work with like Reynolds and Reynolds or anybody like that just like lived in systems?
No.
No. Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I work for we're purely plastic, so we're plastic injection molding.
Okay.
So the process of plastic injection molding is you got to pick your plastic, which I didn't realize there's so many plastics. And
Really? There's a lot of plastics? Like
like when you just look at like plastic,
yeah,
and you're like, oh yeah, that's just plastic.
that's fucking plastic.
No,
brother.
there's like fucking nylon, there's polyurethane, or I can't even say it.
Wait, nylon?
Polyurethane?
Yeah,
that's
polyurethane.
a plastic.
That's a plastic.
Nylon's plastic?
That's a plastic.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So so these things come in like little pellets, and we feed them through a mold, and you shut up the mold, and it'll be a certain temp. Well, let me take you back a little bit. So a person comes to us, hey, I need you to make this part. Okay. So the good thing about my company is we're grouped with a machine shop. So we'll send it to the machine shop. They make the mold for it. They bring in the mold. We have to put it in the press. And then the pellets get fed through there, heated up. It'll feed it into that channel, and it'll kind of like go out, and a star robot will come down in, pick the parts out, and put it wherever it needs to put it. Some cells we have it'll put it on like a cooling rack, and another robot will pick it up.
Yeah.
Some cells it'll just pick it up and put it wherever.
Hey everybody, I'm here to interrupt this amazing interview to talk to you about a couple things. Ratings and reviews. I really, really need you guys to give us some good ratings and reviews. It goes a long way to helping our channel grow and thrive. So if you could leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. We will improve on the stuff you don't like, and we will continue doing what you like. So with that being said, go ahead with the conversation.
Yeah, man. You essentially saying like pellets. Explain what you mean by the pellets. They come in pellets. Explain that to me.
Yeah, so ours comes in pellets. It's like, so if you think of, you're trying to melt plastic back down, probably the easiest way for us to do it is like just have the pellets feed in. The pellets come in on these like big gaylords, we call them, and it's just basically like a huge thing full of plastic pellets.
And I would think that the pellets would be easier to get to that temperature, to get to the melting point, to make the actual part from the mold. I mean, that just makes sense to me.
The shape of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I know a little bit, about that, but as far as like going into it and telling you the right temperatures for each plastic, I'm not in setup. That would be a job for setup. I want to learn more about that, but I can't really tell you like everything. I'm just telling you like what I've seen, what I know.
Okay. And moving on with this conversation, how many years do you have left for schooling?
I'll be done spring 2020, and the only reason for that is because Sinclair sets up their like capstone differently, so it's only offered every spring. Next spring, then there's certain classes you have to take to actually be in the capstone, and I haven't taken those classes yet. Well, next spring I'm taking like 13 credit hours, and it's
shit, dang.
Oh yeah, I got 12 right now.
Okay.
It's hard working full time.
It's a lot.
I have like no life.
I bet, man.
So when you obtain this degree, what is your end goal? What are you trying to achieve with yourself with the robotics degree, or the degree that you're getting?
With the automation degree?
Yeah, with the automation. Like what do you want to end? Where do you want to end up? Yeah.
Oh, I'm going back and teaching at CGC.
Really? You want to?
Yeah, no question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes you so drawn to CTC? Like what? Just because they helped you so much?
Well, I mean, they helped me so much, and also it's a way of getting people interested in what they want to be interested in.
Okay.
Or like opening up their mind of new things. If I can help one person become someone they want to be, I'm content.
Okay.
That's how I feel. I like helping people, and if I can teach them what I've learned, and through my experiences they can learn that and not make the mistakes I've made, then that's my end goal.
See, because I mean that is the most selfless answer I could have heard from you.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty much.
Honestly, most people would be like, "Hey, forget where I came from. I'm gonna get as much money as possible," because CTC probably doesn't pay that well for teachers.
I mean, I could make more out in the industry, but
exactly.
I think long term, I probably won't go teach there until I'm like 30, 40, somewhere right there. Hopefully, I'll have kids, a wife. Yeah, I could spend more time with my family and less time, at a plant, because you get called in. You can get called in.
Mandates.
It's not, hey, this is 9 to 5. Right now for me it kind of is, because I'm still in that training phase.
Yeah.
But once it gets there, like a couple guys get called in on the weekends, because we run machines on the weekends. There's been times that I've had to work Saturdays.
Shit.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I love what I do, but I'm just saying, like, if you had a family, that would be, kind of hard. You make plans with your family or something, you got to cancel them because you got to go to work.
Yeah, what you said there, that's absolutely the right answer, and I absolutely love that mentality
You're very clearly forward thinking. Seems that you kind of understand that happiness is like a result of something. You know, it's a result of the type of life that you're leading. And I'm really glad there's not too many young guys who got their head on straight in that fashion, that are thinking about my family, my kids, what's gonna keep me, you know, happy in my later days. And more power to you, man. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it takes you a while to get there.
It does.
Of course.
With age comes maturity. Mm-hmm. You know, like, but if you talked to me like 3 years ago, I mean, my end goal would be the same, but like the way I would say it or proceed in my actions would be totally different. You know, I've been through some things that knocked me down, and I don't want people to go through that. Yeah.
All right, going on that topic, I have another question after this, but what have been your big trials and tribulations that you've gone through so far in your life? I mean, because all three of us are still so young. I mean, we still have to have seen something that's really been hard on us. And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But just out
of curiosity, how old are you?
20.
20? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, just checking. But yeah.
I mean, I kind of rather not answer, but it involved law enforcement, you know, and me kind of messing up.
Okay.
It was my mess up, and I knew it was my mess up. So I kind of learned from it and went from there. I'll tell you off air.
Oh, yeah, hey, that's no big deal. That's no big deal. Because, I mean, me personally, I've been through a shit ton being only 19 years old. I mean, my mom, borderline alcoholic. You could call her an alcoholic if you want to. This is the first time I've actually shared this on air. But, yeah, if you've ever heard, I mean, all of my friends, everybody has heard me say that, no, I'm never going to do any drugs. I'm never going to drink because of my mom's situation that she brought me in as a young child. I was only freaking 5 years. I mean, ever since I was 2, my mom was always having that trouble with alcohol. And it really showed me what the worst case scenario, especially with my genetics, would be to go down that same path. And I took one route is to just keep it all away from me. And I mean, shit, you could still say I have a really addictive personality. Like, I'm addicted to exercise, I'm addicted to candy, I'm addicted to a lot of these things. And this is my way of coping with the big trial that I had with my mom, and my dad always being so upset because of my mom's drinking and all that. And you could go my way, or you could go my older brother's way. Enzo, he was basically the experiment for the brothers. He went out. He was the only son to go out away for college and live in a dorm room and live the college life. So he got it really experienced in all the drinking and all of the marijuana and all that stuff. And I could see the big toll that's taking on him right now, because he's going through a lot of shit right now that I don't really know about, frankly. But I know something's wrong just because of the actions he's taking towards like the rest of me and my family. And that's his path to go down. Luckily, my little brother stuck with my path. I mean, granted, my other big trial and tribulation was having a kid at such a young age. And that was oh my God, talk about maturity. I had to grow up. 17 3/4 was how old I was when I had Caden. And my life has literally never been the same. It's been so difficult, but the best experience I've ever had in my life, you know? And again, that's just something, everybody makes mistakes. That's what everybody goes through. And I think that's where the most growth happens. And I mean, obviously your situation has made you grow to a point where...
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was a wake-up call. Because it was like, when I was in high school, I was so motivated, man. So motivated. And just like, my mind was set, you know? And CTC made me that way.
Oh yeah, same here.
And I get out of high school and I hit those rough patches and I turned to drinking, you know, gets me in trouble. I mean, I still drink here and there, but nothing like I did.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like I also come from a family, not my parents, but you know, like great uncles and stuff like that on my mom's side of the family that are alcoholics, and you see what it can do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, it's seen it firsthand.
It scares you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, these guys are master carpenters and could build a house if they weren't drunk, but they decide to get drunk. You know, and it's kind of sad because people look at those, you know, like alcoholics in general, or anybody that's addicted to anything, and they look at them and they kind of like outcast them in society.
Yeah, they're like, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you just not do
But
it?"
the thing is with those people, you know, like with alcoholics, anybody with like an addiction, is they have deeper problems than people think.
Oh yeah.
And they can't. My issue was always like I never thought I could talk to anybody, you know, about my problems.
Yeah.
So I would just build them up and build them up and build them up, and that's why I went to music and just writing in general, because if you're thinking about it and, you know, I'm able to write it out and I won't think about it as much.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have an addictive personality as well. And it's good in a sense because, like, I can get addicted to the things I love.
Exactly.
You know, like my job, I love my job. So I'm happy going in every day. But, like, it's also bad in a sense because if you start something, it's hard to end it.
Yeah.
You know, or cut it off.
Yeah.
You know.
I completely understand, man.
But yeah, I mean, you see it all the time with these people that, you know, overdose and stuff like that, and nobody reaches out to them.
Exactly.
They feel like they're alone, you know. And when you feel like you're alone, man, it's not a great feeling.
Oh no.
Even when you have people around you, that's called, you know, basically being naturally depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've battled through that.
Oh, dude. I mean, I think everybody has been through at least a mild version at bare minimum. But I know exactly how you feel, dude. I mean, I've been in that same mindset, and I think that's really where the gym started for me. In sophomore year, I felt just really alone for some reason, and I had so many people around me that I cared about me, and I just for some reason felt so alone. And then me and my one of my closer buddies at the time, Smalls, we made a pact to just go to the gym every day for as long as we can, and that ended up into 2.5 years until we both got injured and had to take a week or two off. And I honestly think that's one of the things that really kept me going and really pushed me to these limits that I didn't think I could achieve at one point. I mean, I was a scrawny 100-pound freshman, and I ended out my senior year 155, 160 pounds, and just, I mean, it was the most shape I've ever been in, of course, and, well, I can't really say that because of my MMA fight, but, and, I mean, I attribute literally all that happiness that I gained throughout those years, not to meeting new people, not to making closer bonds with my closest friends. It was that outlet, and I feel that everyone has an outlet, and everybody needs an outlet. It's just they haven't figured out what that is yet, and obviously yours is music, and I think that's so cool because I have literally almost about zero musical talent, and I obviously don't think of you any different from anything you've done, but I really love that you've went through those trials and tribulations and you came out figuring out what your outlet was, and I think that's just something everybody has to find, you know?
Right. I mean, music has always been my outlet, though. Like, ever since I could remember. It wasn't just like, you know, after that happened, that became my outlet. It was just, I just started doing it more, you know, and making it more. I never really made it. I would just write and write and write. I had notes and notepads full of everything.
Yeah, I remember you showing me a bunch of stuff, and I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that was high school.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I was too shy. You know, I could show people, but I couldn't just like go out there and make a song and like release it or anything.
So, what gave you that confidence to start releasing these songs that you've made?
Fuck it. Literally. I mean, it was just like,
Yes.
people
Yes.
like, if they want to, that's why I called it like, you know, the little thing I dropped, My Reality. Because it's like, you know, if you want to really know how I am and how I feel, listen, you know. And if you don't want to listen, that's cool. I don't really care. I'm not looking to go anywhere with it. It's just, I want people to know how I feel. And it makes me feel better because I got it off my chest, you know. There were so many songs that I just like wrote for like stupid reasons. Like just, you know, like liking a girl that didn't like me back or no, like yeah.
The eternal
Oh
stuff.
yeah. You know, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of my songs are like that, but it's like directed towards like one person, and you know, no one knows who it is, and they won't know. So it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I really feel like the best art isn't made with consumption in mind. The best art is, I've got this feeling, I've got this emotion, and I've got to put it into words. I've got to put it into ink or paint or whatever, and just put it out there in the world.
Yeah.
And that's when you find all the people. Because if I knew you in high school, maybe I should have gone to CTC like Nico did. If I knew you, oh my God, I would have been listening to your music all to the time. Because that sounds like me, you know? I've been talking about crushing on a girl who's like, who? Who are you?
Well, the girl knew who I was. It wasn't just like, it was like, you know, we're friends.
Yeah.
But never clarified or said that, you know, we can't be more. Sometimes did, and then sometimes it was so back and forth, and that's what you deal with. It is what it is. I mean, it was just like, okay, I'll go to a music outlet and just write about it, and yeah, I only talk to her like once a year now. It's like, we'll hang out here and there or whatever, and go our separate ways, and I'm cool with that. You know, I'm content with that now. I used to not be. I was like, you know, I took that hard. I took it real hard, but it is what it is.
Do you think that was based off of like some insecurity you had at the time?
I don't know. I really don't know what it was. The more I grow, the more I mature. It's just like, once again, going back to that fuck it. That's like my life motto now. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna go do stupid shit. Fuck it. No, it's more like, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like me that way, fuck it. Or like anything followed by fuck it.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I think that's a really good motto to live by if you use it in the right sense that you're using.
I'm using it in the right sense. It's not like, let's go do some dumb shit.
You're saying, to put it like concisely, you're saying like, if I value something, I'm not going to let anything get in the way of it. Especially not somebody who doesn't want to, come on, you don't want to hear my music? Oh well, I don't care about you.
No, fuck it. Like,
exactly, fuck it. I feel it, man. Yeah.
If they want to listen, they want to listen. If they don't, like, it is what it is.
Absolutely,
you know? I enjoy writing, and it's something I enjoy. Doesn't mean you have to enjoy it, but if you can relate to anything I say, then I accomplished something.
Yeah, dude, I mean, just listening to the 2 songs you've had, I really felt those words that you were feeling at the time. I was really feeling it.
I create a scene, you know. It's almost like getting in your head, you know, and making you think, hey, did I have an experience like that? Wait, yeah. Like, right when you start thinking of something, right when you start listening to it, it's gonna come to mind. Something will.
And I think that's the best type of music is music you relate to. I think that's why people like music, because they can kind of relate to it in even the smallest ways. Except for some of the...
If I wanted to make music that had a bunch of ad-libs and, you know, saying random words, I could. But I don't do that, because it's like, I'm not trying to pop off people pop off that way these days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's repetitive, no material.
Yeah.
There's no material behind it. That's why like my music taste is different than, you know, a lot of people. I like listen to Russ. I like Mac Miller. I like Post Malone. You listen to their lyrics, you know there's pain behind it. There's something behind it. There's something more. You know, it's not just, I don't know, I got a new car, let me flex. You know, like stuff like that.
And I mean, I've talked to a lot. I mean, there's some times where I'm in a car with some of my friends and they're playing a song off their phone. I'm like, you like this song? He's like, I don't really like the rap, but the beat's really sick, so that's why I like it. And I'm like, dude, that's not even the right reason to like a song.
Well, I mean, at least they like music in the sense of they like the beat.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
That's another way of getting people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can make a catchy beat or something like that, it doesn't matter what the person says.
Have you ever heard of Eden before? The artist Eden?
Eden or
Eden.
The Garden of Eden.
Rapper, singer?
He's kind of a rapper, kind of a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to show you him after this because I think you'd like him a lot. He's been like the only thing I've listened to in the past like month or two because of how I just
how
like
real it is.
Yeah, how real it is.
Yeah. You like NF?
Oh, dude, I fuck with NF heavy.
Yeah.
He's really.
You know they categorize him as a Christian rapper because he doesn't cuss in his music, and I think that's
stupid.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so now you're gonna put this guy in a whole different lane where he could just be tearing up the other lane.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just gonna put him in, and there's nothing wrong with Christian rap, but like he's not a Christian rapper. He's not reciting the Bible or like, you know.
I mean,
I don't know, you know.
He has God in his music. He like talks about sometimes about God, but that doesn't.
A lot of musicians do that.
2 Chainz is now a Christian rapper.
Right.
He talks about true religion all the time.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
He's a Christian rapper now.
Yeah. I mean.
What about Whit Lowry? Do you
Yes.
Yeah. Gotta. Yeah. I mean, he's like
he puts me in a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like.
Let's talk about that. What types of music do you listen to for what you're feeling?
Good question. Yeah.
What I'm feeling?
Yeah.
Like
emotions wise.
I mean, I listen to a lot of sad music, dude.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I do too.
So I get into like my favorite song right now is "Missing You Crazy" by Russ.
Okay,
yeah. So, but are you saying like what do I listen to when I want to write music or when I just get emotional or like my emotions?
Your emotions.
My emotions. Okay.
And actually, you can go both ways. You might as well.
So like with my emotions, I listen to a lot of Kevin Gates. I like Kevin Gates, even though like some of his songs are like kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
I don't really like mainstream rap, but I'll get down to kind of whatever. When I'm happy, I still listen to sad music. Yeah, I don't need like I find not necessarily like sad music, but just like music that is deep.
Okay.
And it has material.
All right.
It doesn't matter my mood. Like, but I'll also listen to like country music. I love country music.
Oh,
like,
dude,
I like
same
Luke
here.
Combs and Kane Brown.
Oh,
is really
for sure,
good.
dude.
And those are like mainstream, but it is what it is. I mean,
but mainstream rap versus mainstream country.
You
can't.
different. I mean, I like Thomas Rhett.
Yeah.
Thomas Rhett's. I can't remember the song, but he talks about like wanting to marry this girl,
Marry
but
me.
like, yeah, marry me. Oh yeah, I get into that.
Again, because country mainstream isn't a bunch of mumble rap with a good beat. I think that's why.
No.
I think that's why you can get into mainstream country more than you can get into mainstream rap.
Yeah, for sure. And I also listen to like alternative music. I like 21 Pilots and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, dude. 21 Pilots is the way to go.
I like AC/DC. I like all types of music, basically. I mean, if it has a beat behind it or somebody playing guitar, and doesn't matter.
I feel like whatever music is at the top of the charts overall,
like whatever is the quote unquote like pop music, that music is always the worst. Like it's always the most bastardized version of music.
You know why?
Yeah,
it's overplayed.
Dude. Exactly.
It's just like
exactly.
When I listen to an album, like I'll listen to the albums right when they come out, and then a couple songs on there will be on the radio now. I stopped listening to them because I don't want to listen to them anymore. Because I can turn on any radio station and listen to that song. It doesn't matter; they're gonna play it on repeat.
That's a serious problem. I see that as a serious problem.
Well, then you get into the realm of who actually controls media.
Yeah.
And I'm a conspiracy theorist. So.
I think conspiracy theorists get a bad rep. Think about all the conspiracies that would have never been like discovered if there weren't people like you.
I mean, it's not like
Go ahead.
I'm not like one of those crazy guys, like that alien guy that has his hair. That's not me. Yeah,
he's on Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh,
he has a crazy hair. Yeah.
Aliens built the pyramids.
Yeah.
That guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look into it more. All I'm gonna say is they're perfectly square. They line up with all the solstices. They line up with certain stars, and they check the limestone, and it was cut by a machine, not a man. So
that's interesting. All right,
who did it? I don't know, but Egyptian history is wrong. You heard it here first.
It's wrong.
But all right. What conspiracy have you delved the deepest in?
Oh, dude. I dive deep into like all of them.
Deep dive.
So there's a couple that I kind of got infatuated with, like the Illuminati. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Illuminati. Mm-hmm. Well, they were actually like a secret society over in Europe, back in the day, like 1700s, whatever it was, and they tried to infiltrate the Catholic Church. And history tells it that they kind of just like died out. They killed everybody. They killed everybody in it. Or how do we know? Like people write history. Mm-hmm. How do you? That's my hard part. Like, cause I don't live life in tunnel vision. I live life in I'm gonna think how I want to think. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna tell me how to think. So.
Yeah, I thoroughly believe in a number of things that people would definitely call conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And so far that the Illuminati thing is about economics and politics. Like about like some kind of like ruling class of people.
Yeah.
I'm with
World
you.
order?
Yeah, it's something akin to that. But,
yeah.
but when it comes to
people are gonna think I'm crazy now.
No. I swear, I mean, more and more you see like mainstream politicians that essentially are saying stuff like this, and then once you see somebody on TV running for like an elected office and they actually win saying this kind of stuff, you're like,
yeah,
we're in the deep. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's.
But my whole thing, real quick, I just don't know if it's the Illuminati. Because like another group that was around during the time was the Freemasons, for example.
Right.
So, and George Washington.
Here's another theory.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, I'm fucking loving this conversation. This has gone so many different directions, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think anybody's going to think you're weird about this. I think this is super interesting stuff because, again, this is something I haven't really delved into, and I think it's really interesting myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people can fuck with some fucking what are they called?
Conspiracy
theories. Dude, I keep forgetting my words.
So
it's fun, man.
So you have the Freemasons, right? So how do you make one secret society or one society even more powerful? You add two together. Easy. So did they add together? There's a lot of things that I just think we don't know about the Freemasons because you can't get into any of their like rituals unless you're an actual member, and the way you get to be an actual member is you have to be voted in by somebody that's already a member. So it's like they're choosing people. It's not like, hey, you want to be a Freemason? Sign up. No, it's like I know you, you know me, like that type of shit. Mm-hmm. So. And you get into that, and it's like, oh, you can watch YouTube videos of like their rituals and stuff, but come on, we all know that's bullshit. This is staged, this is acted out.
For sure.
Like if I'm trying to hide shit this is like anything with basically anything. People can think whatever the hell they want. If you want to think this, go ahead. I don't care. This is what I think. So it doesn't matter.
I find stuff like this deeply interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Number one reason why I do. This is something you're never going to hear about from somebody, on the television in terms of like news,
No.
So
The news is controlled.
Yeah. So
We know that.
So the thing that I find fundamentally interesting about this is like where are people getting their information from? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where? How do we know what we know about this stuff? Like, how do you know? Like, I want to know.
I just research it. I mean, look into it. It's with any type of history, of like, hey, I can take this information and I can take it word for word, or I can take this information and I can build on that information, find other information, and make up my own theory. I have a lot of theories that I've made up, I've taken other theories and just what they think plus what I think and make my own thing,
I also feel like with the internet being so unregulated, I mean, it's still regulated, but it's very less regulated than everything else.
And it's so vast.
And there's no way you can catch everything. Yeah, you can catch like a lot of it, but there's still those little things that can slip through the cracks.
Well, and not many people are going to go on the internet searching conspiracy theories or searching whatever, Like I had one time, me and my cousin were looking into it, and our internet cuts off and our phones cut off. And that was back when I didn't have a cell phone, so I was using a house phone. Everything cuts off. His power went out, my power went out, and we're 2 hours away from each other. No storms, no nothing. Power finally comes back on. I call him. I was like, what happened? Oh, my power went out. I was like, my power went out too. Yeah. We got real deep into it, and we're on the phone and stuff, and it just makes you think sometimes, it's like, it could have been a coincidence, but the more creative thinking of how I think is like, something was going on.
That's a very valid point to think. I mean, if I was doing the same thing, I'd be freaking the fuck out, dude.
It creeped the fuck out of me.
Were you alone?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell no, dude.
I was in my bedroom and like my parents were gone and like my cousin was saying, hey, he had his whole family at his house. So
fuck no, dude.
We're 2 hours away, man.
Yeah.
Like if we lived in the same town, I would have been like, oh yeah, like
or even on same street. No doubt that was just a coincidence.
Right.
But
2 hours
away. 2 hours away?
Yeah.
At the same time?
I'm in Dayton. He's up by Van Wert, Ohio.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's
when I was
shit.
getting deep into like the Illuminati. I never really got any deeper after that because I was just scared to do it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was just like, okay, maybe they're telling me to stop, and that's like, okay, he's fucking crazy, but it's just like,
have you think the same exact thing? Dude?
Oh yeah, I was just like, nope, not looking into that anymore.
Like, fuck that.
But like every time I research something and it just like kind of comes back to that. It's like not necessarily Illuminati or like just people run this world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Middle class and low class make up 99%. There's the 1% that's rich.
And I think that's why all of the top politicians and everybody want to regulate the internet, because there's no way they can control the internet as it is right now. And I think that's fucking fishy, dude.
Yeah.
Because the internet and podcasting say it's so like you can't get a hold of it.
Yeah.
And they don't like that. They fucking don't.
They can't
like that.
touch it.
They can't touch it.
But
That's
what they'll do? Who's that one guy that does podcasts all the time? He talks about
Joe Rogan.
Not Joe Rogan. He talks about controversial shit all the time. Something like that.
Alex Jones.
Yes.
Alex Jones.
How they're trying to shut his whole channel
they
down.
kicked him off of basically every social media platform.
It goes back to with media and things. How do you control that? If they're saying bad things about him, the guy's just saying what he thinks.
Exactly.
And there's no problem with that. First Amendment.
That's free speech.
Fucking freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I can go out in the middle of nowhere and say whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't matter, And another thing with media is how do you? Okay, think about this. So, you're black, you're white, all right.
Confirmed. Facts.
Okay, so no, you go back in time, and it's if you go back far enough and you look at history and everything, white people and black people were essentially, poor white people and poor black people were essentially slaves at the same time.
They were. That is an actual thing.
How do you make one race feel inferior to another race? Give them land. That's what they did. Mm-hmm. They gave the white people land. Oh, we're better than you, but we make the same. I mean, come on, man. Media coming out with this shooting happened, that shooting happened, but you don't want to televise that shooting or this shooting. You want to turn white people against black people because you know that if minorities and other races all combine together with each other and just love each other, you're fucked. The 1% is fucked because 99% of people make up
the middle and lower class.
Yes,
yeah,
I mean,
right,
think
right,
about it.
yeah,
Think about
yeah.
it. So how do you control people? You feud them against each other. You divide and conquer, and also how do you control people? You give them a set of rules. You tell them what to do, and that's my hard thing with religion.
Yeah. Oh, give me 1 second. We can get into that for sure. But I'm 96% positive that the term race was created so that whites could overpower the blacks and make them slaves. Because, like you said, whites and blacks were both slaves at the same time.
Okay. So obviously they treated the blacks worse.
Mm-hmm.
Serfdom, more so being a subject to a feudal lord is different than chattel slavery.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
I get what you mean in terms of the bottom of the
right.
social.
They made
you work the lord's land and
yeah.
I get what you're saying there. Yeah.
They may have got paid more or a little bit more, but it didn't make them feel inferior, like they were better than anybody until you give them land, because back then land was power.
Yeah.
Land was freedom. Land was freedom. Right?
Land was freedom. Land was power. You know,
Yeah.
So it's technically the whites were free.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's just you give them more power and they just feel better than the other people, and I just feel like that's totally fucking wrong. And that's always how where I grew up. Right? It's divided. It's you're either racist or you're like me, I don't care what color you are. I don't care how you talk. I'm going to talk to you because I'm not a fucking dick. I'm not I don't know. So some people just go way into that and it's just, you're stupid and an idiot.
On what Nico said there about race, it was 18th century pseudoscience, basically, where all that we
it was
know
a created
as race
word
came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just some random people created these tools and decided they were going to measure skull size of various people on Earth. They came up with 3 races of all people on Earth, and they attempted to say, based off of skull size, based off of skin color, based off of these things, there are just vast generalizations that we can make about all people.
Yeah, stereotypes and
yeah. And I like the way you put it though, because it's what purpose does that serve? What purpose does that serve? It got people to look at the world. I mean, at the time they looked at population, they looked at the way things were going.
Yeah.
Europeans, while they had the first multi-million population cities, they realized that the vast majority of other people on Earth aren't going to be white. There was an attempt to create some sort of
a barrier,
international
dividing
stratified system. Yeah, absolutely.
It's you can constantly divide people and divide people and divide people, and the people that can't think for themselves are going to believe it. You know, they're gonna believe it. Like, I'm more powerful than you just because of my color, or I'm more powerful than you just because I make more money. Like, money's a fucking object. Literally. I could be dead broke and be happy. I don't care. Yeah, you need money for necessities and things like that. But if you just look at like the root of being a human, of being on earth, that's not happiness. We created this shit. You know, like, we created depression. We created all of this. Like, all these things, like these mental issues that people have is because of how we're advancing. And, you know, I don't want to go out and find a girl. I'm just going to find her on my phone. It's stuff like that, you know. And I'm in. It's bad because I'm into technology. I love technology, but I see where it can get really bad.
And I think that's why everybody should do their research on technology, because you know what's the worst that can happen, because you're learning about it and you're figuring out what it does to people. And I feel like the reason you can be happy without any money is because you have a purpose in life. Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest cause of almost everything, like with the human psyche, is either you don't have your purpose or you do have your purpose.
Or you don't know your worth.
Or you don't know your worth.
If you know your worth and what you're worth, it doesn't matter what you make, what you drive, what clothes you wear. It doesn't matter. You know, like when I was younger, I got made fun of a lot for clothes I'd wear. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. I'd wear like Walmart clothes. I don't give a shit. But at the time I did, because you know, you're in school. You know, everybody's making fun of you, and that's where I just created my personality. I got it like, all right, I'm just gonna be funny. You know, they want to fuck with me, I'll fuck with them back, but it's gonna be more hilarious because I'm gonna roast the hell out of them. You know, like that's how I did it. You know, that's how I made it through. But it's just people. Once you get out of high school or school in general, you just realize like, none of that shit mattered. You know, like before CTC, I didn't learn anything that I could use in the real life.
Honestly, same here. I could not tell you what I learned there.
If I had it my way and implemented my own way of a school system, would be have these kids learn what they want to learn.
And we actually were talking about this on an earlier episode. On one of my biggest issues with the school system is we're just throwing them in a bunch of classes that they probably don't want to be in, which is hindering them from the classes they actually want to be in. Yeah. Because they're stressing out about the crappy classes.
Because there's so many creative people in this world, and they don't know they're creative. Yeah. You know, you're not born knowing you're creative. You find it somehow. And everybody's creative in a different way. You know, like this podcast, that's really creative. You know, like, this is something. It doesn't even have to go anywhere. You're fine with that, and I can tell that. You guys don't care if you get views. You just like talking, and you know, telling people your thoughts and telling people how it is, you know, like, or how you think, and people can respond to that, you know.
Yeah, earlier when you talked about just finding your passion. Yeah. I know I'm putting it in simplistic terms, because like what you actually said, like that's powerful. That's moving stuff. That's the only reason why I do this. I enjoy talking with Nico about it. I enjoy him pulling that out of me, and I absolutely love and look forward to just having so many more interviews like this where we pull it out of just anybody we know in life, you know. Right. I do hope. I'm not necessarily caring about viewers or anything like that, but I do hope that there's somebody who listens to this, and at any given moment they just get that spark, that it hits them, or they at least get pushed onto that right track. But in terms of education, I do have to disagree a bit here. I think it's important for kids at a young age to be exposed to as much as we can, you know, and at least practice at least practice filling their heads with knowledge, learning how to study, learning how to, you know, give themselves tasks to complete like homework. But there needs to be a time, CTC, like in the middle of high school, that's a great time. I think it should be earlier, personally.
Yeah,
but there
it
needs
should
to be a time where you differentiate. I like the German model more so than anything. They hit like around middle school age.
Yeah.
They're doing their own thing.
Well, and, you know, I never learned how to study.
Same here.
I never.
Same here. Not in school, at least.
I never studied throughout high school, and I barely study in college because I can do it. I remember it. You know, it's just like, but with some people, they have to study a shit ton, and they have to learn that somewhere. But you don't really learn that in school. They don't teach you how to study. They're just like, here, study this. Okay, so let's study. Oh, just read the book. Well, with me, I am a hands-on learner.
That is same
so,
here.
And I did okay in school. Like, I always had, like, straight A's and B's. Like, no issues. But it was just, when I got to CTC, it was different. Because it was, like, everything was hands-on. Even, like, gen ed classes, you know, like, of math and stuff like that. They would try to incorporate you using your hands in some way. And that's what I like. And now, you know, working at CTC, we reach out to 7th and 8th graders and have satellite schools, and they have STEM programs. STEM is getting a lot bigger than people think.
Can you tell us what STEM is, just for the people who don't know?
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it's basically what we do at, like, teaching middle school level is getting them interested into, if they want, getting them interested into, like, engineering and 3D modeling, 3D printing, making, like, little robots and stuff like that. You know, I never got exposed to that when I was younger. I didn't know, well, shit, 8th grade, I want to be a fucking lawyer, like, of all things, until I interviewed a lawyer and was like, oh, you're going to have to, like, lie for people. And I'm like, can't do that. So I was like, oh, electrical engineering, that sounds pretty cool. And I'm like, yep, I'm more of a mechanical guy.
And going back to Marcus's point, I think we do really have to differentiate when they can choose what they want for themselves, studying-wise, like what they're interested in.
Right.
I mean,
because that interest changes all the time. Honestly, it should be like freshman year of high school.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because
Something like
elementary school, you're still wanting to be astronauts.
But make it more hands-on.
I understand that portion.
Yeah,
it's just,
because I'm not that type of learner, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of people aren't. You know, I'm not a bookworm. I don't like reading books.
Yeah.
And that's actually a problem. You mentioned how a lot of kids in elementary school want to be astronauts. What does an astronaut do? Just real quick, between the two of you, do you know what an astronaut does?
Goes to outer space.
Yeah, it goes.
No.
Runs the spaceship.
Astronauts go up into outer space and they run hundreds of experiments while they're up there. That's what they do. You have to be well versed in all kinds of different types of science, and that's essentially what they do. They just want to understand how physics works differently. Here on Earth, or in relation to Earth and space, they test different things under different scenarios. They operate spacecraft at different speeds. They test radiation, as there's no atmosphere. They test what effects the sun's radiation has on the ship and on different things that they put out in space. It's what kids need, like you said, hands-on. They need truly to be able to experience what these things are.
Right. And
if I told you that I made music,
right,
you just think of the music that comes out of your stereo or whatever sound device you're listening to. You don't think about recording, writing, editing.
Well, nobody really thinks about that.
That's what education truly should be, in my mind, at least.
Like, the whole thing that I released, it's only like 17 minutes worth of music, but that's 2 months of work. That's recording, re-recording, cutting, splicing, adding the effects, listening to it in my car over 70 times each song, and just finding the little flaws in it because I'm a perfectionist. But people don't see that, and they'll be like, oh, that's a little bit off beat, or that's like this, or that's like this. So, yeah, I take that and I can use that, but it's just like, respect it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not perfect. I don't have a professional studio or anything. I'm doing it because I like it,
And I feel like that's what everybody needs to find is what they like and what they love.
Yeah.
And when they find that, that's when they can start making those jumps through freshman, sophomore, junior year. For the if I'm putting this correctly, for your vision of schooling at that point in the beginning of your high school career, to make those leaps and bounds to get to where they need to be, so they can be not just prepared for college, but be prepared to thrive in college.
Yeah, but they don't have to go to college.
Yeah.
Even forget college.
This is the problem with like America in general. We beat into everybody's heads. College. My dad makes 6 figures a year and never went to college, and it doesn't matter what you do. Find your passion and make money in it.
What's really funny is that that's a relatively new import to our culture here in this country. It's something that we actually kind of got from the Europeans.
Yeah, because we used to be working class people.
Like, for the vast majority of American history, I'd say probably since definitely the 1840s, up until the mid 19th century. Yeah, definitely. Vast majority of our country is middle class. You were a carpenter,
right?
You were a husbandry, animal raising and things like that. You were a farmer, trades. That's what most people were.
Look, man, I can go off and get this engineering degree, which I will, and I'll get paid starting out probably $60,000-$70,000 a year, right?
Woo!
Doesn't matter. My buddy talked him into joining a union for electrical work. Makes $40 an hour prevailing wage right now. He's working down at Right Pat. Mm-hmm. No trade degree, no college degree. You don't have to go to college. I had one friend from high school that I haven't seen since high school, and found him on Facebook, added him, found out he made YouTube videos. He makes more money than I do just making YouTube videos and playing video games.
Okay.
So it's I mean, whatever you do, just do it to your most. Don't half-ass it. That's the way I've always been taught. If you're gonna do something, fucking do it.
Go balls.
Don't half-ass it, because if you're half-assing it, people are gonna see that. If I put in work and I half-ass it at work, I'll get fired. I don't do that. I go in and I put my time in. I actually work, and that's something we're losing as time goes on, is
the work ethic.
How you're raised is totally different now. It's I'm gonna pat you on the back every time you do something good. In my household, it was you do better. You pushing me. It wasn't over the top, some of these parents are over the top, you're fucking grounded, if you don't get this grades.
Yeah.
Grades didn't matter in my house. It's
did you try
learn how to work?
Yeah. You need it. And that's a similar spot where I grew up in, was if I was doing poorly in something and my parents knew I wasn't putting in the work, they were like, you better get your shit together, because you suck right now and you need to be here. And I'm like, okay, yes, mom, yes, dad. And I'd go put in the work, and it gave me that level of work ethic to really see things through and do it to the absolute best of my abilities. And if my best ability isn't to the T, I know I can improve, and I know that I'm going to improve, because I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in the effort to get there. And I think this podcast is a tribute to that, because we were really rough at the start. Marcus and I were really, really rough at the start. We couldn't really talk well.
I thought it was good.
Thank you. I'm glad that
I've only listened to half of them. Sorry.
Oh, hey, no big deal.
I got the rest of my queue. Just give me some time.
Hey, that's no big deal. No big deal.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we've been really rocky on the upload times, but I knew that was a place we can improve on from seeing where we have been and knowing that we haven't put forth our absolute best. And I feel like we are going to push ourselves to get that much better and to perfect what we need to perfect and get everything all online for the final outcome, which is the best possible thing we could actually create where we are at today. I'm not saying it can't get better, because it will be with more experience we gain.
Right.
But we are we can be at the absolute best we can be at for the time being.
Right. And, eventually I can picture you guys on YouTube. And like
we're actually on YouTube.
Yeah, that's one of
as a video.
Oh, not as a video.
Yeah. See, like you guys sitting down, kind of talking. I can't think of the name right now, but there's two funny guys. They do crazy stuff.
Okay.
my ultimate star, my ultimate star, my target right now is actually Joe Rogan's podcast.
I love Joe Rogan.
He's a great guiding star. Like you look at what he does.
Yeah.
I don't see a single thing, like, you know what I mean. Like everything that he does is so spot on. He has the most viewers.
I mean, he got Elon Musk to smoke weed, like of all people, and you get a.
Oh my god.
This is what's great for me, because you get a slight glimpse into what Elon Musk thinks like, and for me it was crazy, because it was like sometimes I think like that. It was weird, because it was like he was like, from an early age I could tell I didn't fit in. Yeah. I felt you there, like
absolutely.
You can just tell, but yeah, that was great. I love Joe Rogan. I love Elon Musk, which gets me, if we go back a little bit,
to conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So have you guys heard of the simulation theory?
Yeah.
I haven't. Could you inform me on that?
So, pretty sure at this point, essentially, there's a third chance that we're in a simulated reality.
Oh, okay.
A 1/3 chance.
Yeah.
Oh.
33%.
How do you figure?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, that's so like this guy came out with a research paper, and that was his calculation. So it was based on his calculation.
I've
around 33% there.
Okay. I've heard a number of compelling arguments that we're in a simulation. But the one, and I think I love this discussion, but the one that I heard that's like the most compelling, that we're not, is wow, if this is the reality that somebody is simulating, their world must be fucking boring, because what the hell? Like,
well,
could you think of like, can you imagine like a million more?
What if they're studying? Think about that. So if I'm trying to study how people react, and I'm doing like psychiatric study, or like just a study of how people are, insert natural disaster, how do people react to that? Insert war, how do people react to that? Insert peace, how do people react to that? Like these things happen, and it's just like sometimes it's just not a fucking coincidence. It's like, this is weird, and you just look at all the information, and like you kind of look around, and you're like, what if it is? If you have like tunnel vision. Sorry. Yeah.
I think the three of us here are very open-minded people, so I feel like if you're open-minded enough, you could definitely pick some things out and be like, that is very interesting.
Well, explain how Da Vinci was making inventions way before they were ever made, like the plane. Basically, essentially designed the plane
and a helicopter, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah. He had so many inventions. It's like, I solely believe people are put on this earth for a reason. And if we're in a simulated reality, it would make a hell of a lot more sense if they're put in here for a reason. How are we going to advance civilization? So maybe like getting off like into the realm of craziness here. But what if like, Earth didn't work out for somebody, and they kind of like just sent us back into this reality, like this virtual reality of like, what can we do better? Like, what can we change? Did technology advance too fast?
Right.
Did we get where we wanted too fast? And there's no problem with creativity. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just like where we're going, we don't know. If AI robots become a thing, we're fucked. Just listen to me, we're fucked. Listen to Stephen Hawking, we're fucked.
Right.
Because you you sit here and you're telling me you want to give a computer a fucking brain? Are you stupid? Because there's good people in this world and there's bad people. So what is going to differentiate like a good computer and a bad computer? Like what if that, you know, like depending on the maker, like I can make a robot, you know, if I made a robot, it would be like a helpful AI. But like if a criminal made a robot, and people like to think criminals are dumb. They're some of the smartest people. They can
credit card scammers.
Yeah,
goddamn geniuses.
You take a person like that just governments that want to make AI for bad. Like I'm telling you, man. Like this is not good. We can't let this go on because, and I love robots. Don't get me wrong, but I love them in an industrial sense and like a humanoid without a brain. Like I'm controlling it. You know,
I have 2 studies that I've heard from research and another podcast. They were these fucking scientists were uploading like all the bad media and all the bad news and the murders and the kidnappings into this AI machine, and it started fucking wigging out. My eyes were tearing up because of how fucking scary it is. And the AI was starting to make its own language and talk to other AIs after being uploaded with all of this fucking murderous, raping knowledge. And they instantly shut it off. I was freaked the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories in general just got me freaking out. And Marcus, you go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Yeah. On the topic of simulations, first, just imagine like all the ways that the world could end. You mentioned maybe somebody sent us back, you know, and or like maybe Earth didn't work out so well for them.
Right.
I'm thinking thermonuclear war, the worst projections for climate change, an asteroid, aliens, literally anything that could remotely happen to Earth. It does make a lot of sense if you think that why we live in this world and we've lived how long, 70 plus odd years with nuclear weapons. And how many times have we come, like, literally within the edge of a knife of just nuking everything to oblivion? Like, a ridiculous amount of times.
Yeah, because people are stupid.
Yeah, people are stupid. So, the strongest argument for this really being a simulation is that somebody really is trying to figure out human nature. And they're giving us all the tools that physics will allow us to destroy ourselves, to kill ourselves, or to even let, like, nature just destroy ourselves if we don't build some sort of asteroid protection system or become a multi-planetary species, whatever. I do believe that there is some kind of purpose here. We're supposed to figure something out here.
Right.
You know?
I mean, your brain named itself, dude. Like, think about that. Just give that a thought. Like, you can't control your thoughts.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't control your thoughts because this controls your thoughts, your brain. Like, so if I have a crazy thought comes out of nowhere, it's not my thought. It's my brain's thought. Like, call me fucking crazy, but it is what it is. Like, and your brain thought of math. Your brain thought of every body part. Our DNA is a code.
Mm-hmm.
So how are our bodies a whole code?
That's a good question.
Now, the only problem I see with the simulation theory is, let me just say this first of all. I believe in a higher being, okay? I'm not atheist. I don't want people like
none of us here are atheists.
Yeah, I don't want people backlashing and being like, oh, you don't believe in God. Well, I believe in something.
Yeah, we don't care. If there's somebody who's coming for you for... If there's somebody who's coming for someone for their belief or lack thereof, read the Constitution real quick.
All right.
And just listen to our episode about religion because we bashed on the church I bashed on the church. So anyway, go ahead.
Shit, what was I gonna
say? You said that
higher power.
You do believe in a higher power.
Before that,
simulation.
Simulation.
Yeah, we were talking about the simulation. Okay, now only problem I have with the simulation theory is every person. So if this was code, if we're made of code, like we were programmed, every person would have to be different. So you would have to think of what kind of computer power would that take? Like, how advanced would the person that created you have to be?
Especially being an all-organic being.
Yeah, and you go to that of like, well, you know, the universe is billions of years old, so like, they've had time.
Yeah, you know,
so it's like, I mean, failed here, failed there, but success here, you know, stuff like that. But it's like, also, you just think about if it is a actual thing, like, people are going to be disappointed when they die. You know, like, no one knows where we go when we die. Like, if you believe in heaven, if you believe in hell, that's okay. But, like, personally, I don't. I don't. Like,
I mean, that's what faith is. It's faith. It's belief. It's not knowledge. And nobody knows.
Yeah, it's not like... And I come from, like, a really religious family. So my mom has a hard time with it, saying I'm going to go to hell. You're just going to go to hell. You don't believe in God. Like, I believe in something. But, like, so if you read the Bible, you know, look into, like, things Jesus done and, like, God did, you know. Jesus was walking on water, things like that, healing people. We look at one person that's being our creator. Well, that the only thing that makes that person different is their ability to create. We don't have that ability, like, in that realm. We have ability to create, but not in that realm. So it's like, if you look at the simulation theory, that higher being is our coder, our creator. You know, like, if you look at it in that sense.
The one thing that I just have to say is, sometimes I'm just driving on the highway and I'm cruising and I'm like really moving 80 plus miles an hour. And I'm not even gonna tell you how fast I'm going. And then just out of nowhere, some like dumb rube who's like in the middle lane or sometimes even in the far right lane will just swing over in front of me. And then suddenly I just can't speed. And I'm thinking, okay, here's what's happening. The next area of the map is still loading. They haven't finished developing it. So the developer said, "Oh shit, let's move a fucking car in front of him. He's going too fast."
Well, the crazy thing about all of this is Elon Musk. I listened to him talk about it, and he's like, essentially, we're like the video game Sims.
Yeah.
You know, you get into Sims. Think about it, though. Like, you get on Sims. You know, you tell the person when to eat, when they're hungry, and, like, where to go, what to do. Marry this person, marry that person, flirt with this person, do this.
Woohoo.
Which career do you want? You know, like, you choose your career. Like, you're playing someone's life on your TV. So how is it such a hard thing to think of? Maybe somebody's playing our life.
Yeah.
And seeing how we react. And maybe that's why I think, like bad things that happen to you in your life are just thrown in there to see how the fuck you react. Do you get back up, or are you just going to be a pussy about it and whine, you know?
And I think that's a really good place to end this episode. This has been just fucking... This has been crazy.
Yeah.
This is a baller episode, absolutely, man. Yeah.
I mean,
We went
holy
everywhere.
shit. We went everywhere. We literally just... And I love it. I mean, you have been our second guest.
Yeah.
And our first guest had a lot of structure to it because we had one big topic in mind because he had type 1 diabetes.
Right.
And
you can't really
Yeah.
shy off into, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories now. Like,
whereas you, my buddy Marcus, didn't really know you much.
yeah.
And I haven't talked to you in a long time. So I thought, what a better opportunity than to just talk and
Why not?
just first off catch back up and then just fucking talk around, dude.
Right.
And I thought, I mean, this literally went the best possible outcome that I could have hoped for. And Marcus, if you have anything to say, you can follow me up on that.
Absolutely, yeah. This is like you said, best possible outcome. Definitely best interview. Our buddy Cameron, we're gonna tell him he sucks because this interview was amazing. No, I'm kidding. We're very happy. To
Yeah,
have
but he
Cameron
can
on.
only talk about one topic. If I sat here and talked about one topic for an hour, everybody would have been like, "God, this guy's fucking boring."
but yeah, man. One thing I do want to say, just if you're comfortable doing it, just share your first and last name, and if you have any.
Yeah, dude, plug whatever you want. Plug your SoundCloud. Plug everything. Seriously, honestly, I would love for you to put out your SoundCloud on our podcast.
All right.
And if you would like, I would also, if you're willing, put one of your songs as this outro for this episode.
That's cool.
All right, cool. So go ahead and plug your Instagram, plug your SoundCloud, plug whatever you want. You got 45 seconds. Go.
All right. Once again, I'm Shad. Yeah. Go view my little EP on SoundCloud. It's Ream the Dream. Kind of generic, but it is what it is. Go check it out. Instagram, ShadReam1998. Snapchat, Ream the Dream 50. A little bit of anything.
Last thing I gotta say, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your entrepreneurship. That's all I'm about. You know, you're out here blazing your own trail. You know, doing your own thing, and I love that. And I absolutely appreciate your realness. You know,
thanks, man.
Keep it up.
And we will also have everything he just listed off in the notes below. So if you want to go click on everything, it'll be a nice hyperlink there. And Shad, buddy, literally, this has been awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've been Marcus.
I've been Nico.
And this was Porch Talk. Thanks for listening.
Baby wanna roll with the windows down. Yeah, with the windows down. We can roll through the whole fucking town. Yeah. Maybe even go downtown. Yeah. Then go home and fool around. Yeah. Just let me know if you're down, cause I'm down. She's stressing, I'm stressing, but this life is a blessing. So let's open up creativity, open your eyes for clarity. Go to my hometown for serenity, and you'll see, yeah, you'll see. Let's go to my hometown for serenity, and you'll see, yeah. Baby wanna roll with the windows down, yeah, with the windows down. We can roll through the whole fucking town, yeah. Maybe even go downtown, yeah. Then go home and fool around, yeah. Look, picture this, you and I, me and you, just cruising, no confusion, windows down, people staring as we ride out in the murked out McLaren, but yet you choose to be distant, so I have to love you from a distance. You're what I'm missing, ignorance is blissing, you got my fix, I miss this, but it is what it is, yeah, it is what it is, just want and need one kiss, what is this, fuck it though, I'm just trying to do some shows, stack up some dough, you already know how this goes, yeah, I'm building my empire, yo, what I desire, and I got that fucking fire, yeah, and I got that fucking fire, yeah, baby wanna roll with the windows down, yeah, with the windows down, we can roll through the whole fucking town, yeah, maybe even go downtown, yeah, then go home and fool around.